What's it gonna take for you to finally break up with your bullshit? Think what you could do if you could only break up with your bullshit. Hello, welcome to the Break Up With Your Bullshit podcast. My name is Michelle Akin. If you don't know me, I am a life coach working exclusively with creative humans, and I also run an online group called Break Up With Your Bullshit, which was actually why this podcast became a thing. I started this group of people who all were ready to make some big goals and actually be held accountable to reaching them. And so it's pretty neat because it's a whole group of artists who are hyping each other up and calling themselves out on stuff, which if you've ever been called out on your bullshit by someone else, that's kind of painful. But when you're actually able to recognize it in yourself and say, I'm going to do something about this, it has a catalyzing effect on your entire life, which is what I've noticed in all of these people, is that it's not just about the book they said that they would write or the music that they said they would put out or whatever the creative thing is, because it really spans a large scope here. We're not talking just about like what you think when you think of creativity or art. There's all kinds of things happening in our group. And it's having big effects on people's lives. And so I just want people to know about it. If you're interested in being part of this community, you can go to michelleakin.com, MICHELLEAKIN.com. And at the top, it says Break Up With Your Bullshit. It's probably I think it's an acronym, BUWYBS. Yes, click that, get on the email list, and you'll get access to the private Facebook group. And then, you can break up with your bullshit too. And if you're not interested in that, that's cool. Keep listening to the podcast because I've got a ton of really exciting guests planned for January and February, and also a big event that I'm going to be announcing soon that will be happening in January. So the way that I choose people for this podcast is, number one, I'm looking for people I know and have some sort of personal connection with, because I could just seek out really interesting people to interview, people who I don't know, which is what I will have to do eventually because I'm going to run out of the people I know. But I'm really enjoying interviewing my friends who also happen to be people who are out in the world producing content of some kind and have had some great success. Typically people with bigger audiences than I have, or are more prolific than I am with their creative work. And like I said, I'm also a creative, so there's a lot of overlap. And actually today I'm bringing on Aaron Boykin, who is an amazing vocalist, musician, singer-songwriter, and just overall human being, which you'll get that vibe pretty quickly. But he actually is one of the reasons why I chose to start writing my own music this year. And specifically, I shared a draft with him, and he said, send that to me. And he put music under it and sent it back to me. And I just cried because that part of the process was the part that I was having the most trouble with. And he was able to see it for me when I couldn't see it for myself. And for that, I just owe him the world, and I really want people to know about him. He is the lead singer of Duwendé, which is an amazing acapella band. They're huge all over the world. They go and perform, before COVID. In fact, at the beginning of COVID, he was in Australia performing and had to, cut it off and come home. I don't even think we got into that in this podcast, but he's huge. He's everywhere. He's going to be putting out his own solo stuff this January, and we talk about that at the end of the podcast. So most of my guests have been generous enough to talk a bit about their bullshit that they're still on. And Aaron and I really got into it toward the end of this, and it went pretty deep. So I think it's just it's a real treat of an episode. And I hope you listen to the whole thing and get a lot for yourself out of it. I definitely did. I really, really enjoyed this. I've been looking forward to having Aaron on since I started the podcast. So really, really grateful that he made time to come on and talk to me. And he shares some of his music, and I share some of my music too, that only people in my private Break Up With Your Bullshit group have even heard. And it's just really cool. So I'll just get on with it now. Here is my interview with Aaron Boykin. Break up with your bullshit. Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay, hanging in there, you know.
Yeah? Got a
Update.
late night last night?
Yeah, yeah. Last night went pretty late, but you know, coffee is the business. So,
Yeah. What were you doing last night?
so I've been connecting with a lot of people lately, trying to do some co-writes. I've been all over that. Have you heard of the Clubhouse app?
No.
Oh, Clubhouse! It's really great. If you can, you should get on there. It's basically in like a big phone call with a bunch of people. It's really, really great, and a lot of people have been using it for like industry connects, regardless of what industry you've been in. So like superstars are on there. I was in a room with like some big time Grammy producers and things like that, just listening, and they do a lot of like talks and stuff. So I highly recommend if you can get it.
You
Get
know, now I think Stella Santana was on the podcast. She was my second guest,
it.
and she's Carlos Santana's daughter. She's doing her own music, and she
Oh,
mentioned, I think she mentioned it to me,
oh,
actually.
really?
I think on the podcast, but I
Oh
forgot.
man, yeah. If you can get on there, highly recommend.
Okay.
Actually, I have an invite, so just download that thing, and then I'll send you an invite.
Aaron, you're the
Come on
best.
through. Come on, you know I got you. Come
I know you
on.
got me. You always got me. By the way, I'm going to send you a present. So I don't know if you've seen, but I'm currently selling these tiny microphones.
Oh hell yeah.
You know,
That's
uh,
awesome. I love those.
they say break up with your bullshit on the.
Girl.
So we've got hot pink, sexy
Uh,
blue, rose gold, and silver.
damn.
Pick one.
I mean, I was gonna go with the hottest of the pinks, but I'm a rose gold guy.
Alrighty, that's the most popular
Really?
one. Yep.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I mean, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
You just make it
Apologies for
to
my tardiness.
What'd you say?
Apologies for my tardiness.
Oh, fine.
Apparently I didn't update Zoom in over a year and a half. And some things might have changed since then.
There's been a few updates, yeah.
Yeah, a couple. So whoopsie.
That I forgot about that. The cover that's on top of the. So for anyone who's watching, I'll just explain for people who aren't. Aaron is my friend who's been giving me counsel on what audio equipment to buy because he is an incredible singer and recording artist.
We're too clean.
Uh-huh. Um, and so he's got this set up right next to him. That's the same one that I just got, but I forgot about that. Is it the I or what's that thing called?
Yes. I think it's called a chaotica. It's Kaotica. Chaotica, but chaotica eyeball is what you want to look up.
Okay, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
It was so tragic, Aaron. I came to your studio there where you're sitting, and I sat on that couch, and you told me names of every single thing that I need to get. And the next day, I went and got a new phone, and I didn't, and my backup didn't have the notes of where I put down everything. So that's why I've been texting you, like, what was that thing called? Because I wrote it down.
Oh, no worries. No.
But I lost everything. And it was like, that was all I lost. I lost 12 hours worth of stuff, but it just happened to happen right after I came to see you.
Goodness, man. I'm always happy to help. You know that.
Yeah, you're the best.
Oh,
so thanks so much for coming on the Break Up With Your Bullshit podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I forgot to do this with my last guest. I just realized, but I usually start out by talking about how we know each other. What do you remember about like the first time we met?
I remember, just so I know, what's allowed? Is cursing allowed? I don't.
I mean, the title has cursing in it. Everything.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Shit.
Oh shit.
Shit. I'm about to tell y'all some shit right now. No. No, I remember. So I know you. I guess our first introduction probably was through Elena, my girlfriend. I imagine. But I just remember hearing so much about you through like the AC grapevine and how much of a badass you were.
Oh, that's cool.
Seriously, that's kind of what everybody still kind of says about you. And it was like this badass who's like a young leader who's moving up in the company. And as a leader, I was like, oh my God, like that sounds really awesome. And the minute that I saw you, I was like, that's Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
For anyone who doesn't know, AC is accomplishment coaching.
Yes.
Life coach and leadership training program that Aaron and I both went through and that I am now a senior program leader with. You know, Aaron, the first time I remember actually seeing you, you had a reputation too. I had heard a lot about you. Didn't you go through the program with Jocelyn?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
She was a coach in the program. Yeah.
But Jocelyn, some people who have been around for a while will remember Jocelyn was she was my intern and then she was my assistant, and she used to sit and listen to me play music and give me advice, and she's brilliant, just beyond brilliant. And then one day she told me I signed up for the coach training program, and I was like, what? You what? Which happens. It's happened with two of my assistants.
Uh,
Um, I give people a bug, but I remember being on a Zoom call actually, before it was cool.
mm,
Um,
back in
and you were on it. You were still a participant. It was one of those calls where we get like when you're still on the participant team, we invite you to come start joining our team calls.
mm-mm.
And you were on stage or you were at like a sound check or something, and you were trying to be on the phone you're trying to be on Zoom while you were sound checking. And I was just like, who is this guy? Why does he have a microphone? What do I need to know?
Oh, I forgot about that, man. I felt so bad. I felt like I was like, I didn't want anybody to take that as like a mini flex or anything like that.
No, I saw, I was like, oh, I relate to really try. I relate because when I was doing video production work a bit, I only did directing work after I became a coach, but I was doing some directing work and I was at a shoot, hiding in the bathroom on that call, trying to be on that call and at the shoot at the
You
same time.
right. You get it.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Real. Yeah, that was. I forgot where. I think I might have been in. I think we had a gig in Florida. I think that's where that was. I can't remember, but I do remember that happening, and I felt so embarrassed because they were like, "Can you turn off your camera if you're not able to be?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, you're right."
We were all just watching. We're like, wow, what's happening there? What is that? I was like, dude, just get off the phone.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to do it all, trying to do all the
Like, this
things.
call is not it's not necessary. You could simply say, I gotta work this out. It's not working. But I appreciate the hustle and the attempt to be there and there.
I'll be trying. I'm out here. We out here
You're out here
trying to
trying.
do things.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know you, how would you introduce yourself?
I would introduce myself as a jack of all trades and a master of none. I would say I am an artist by trade and at heart, who has an immense love for all things sound, audio, speaking, voice, vocal. And I try to dabble in a little bit of all of that. So I've done everything from, singing, acapella band, hosting, acting, um, just an artist who's looking to dive into many, many different things, and still currently trying to break up with my bullshit.
As we all are.
Right.
Usually that's the last thing I talk about with people, but I think especially because you've been trained as a coach, I think we're painfully aware of our bullshit more so than the average bear.
Like, like yes, very painful, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Mad painful. Yeah. I just always remember how not unique it is,
Mm-hmm.
like it always feels so, man, like I'm the only one out here trying to hustle and do the thing and I'm not making it work, but there's a whole community of people who are going through the same thing. And it's just nice to know it's not as unique or as personally, individually focused as it feels sometimes,
Absolutely, especially because people will be like, I don't know what it is about me. I just can't seem to get, and I'm like, I mean, you and everyone. So
What it is, yeah. I said that
terminal
2 minutes before you said that.
uniqueness.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said that. I was thinking that 2 minutes before you said that.
You're right.
I don't know what it is about me.
One of our leaders in the company calls that terminal uniqueness disease. Like,
I got it.
yeah,
Real
you're
good.
the only one.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, man.
One time I talked to a 13-year-old who told me that she doesn't know why she hasn't written her book yet.
Oh, my heart. My heart. Let me talk to this child. Look here, baby.
Probably in their 20s at this point, because that was back my first year when I had my calendar open and everyone under the sun would book calls with me, and I would just go get on the phone. How old are you?
Oh
Okay. You know, I'm like, oh shit, I need to like, because I can't coach people under 18. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be like your big sis chatting with you for 30 minutes. That's
Oh
fine.
goodness. See, I would have been so bad. I would have been like, well, I'm in my 30s. How many books do you have expected to be writing by 30? Just to see. Just uh-oh.
For real.
Yeah.
Uh,
Man.
I just remember when we were in the Cayman Islands for a wedding,
Mhm.
and I asked you and Elena, I was like, y'all are theater kids, y'all are performers. What's your dream role? And Elena goes, I've already actually done it. And I can't remember which role it was, but she's an amazing opera singer.
She
What
is. She
she said?
is. I don't remember. Um,
And
Opera is like that one genre of music that has eluded me for my entire life.
same, even though you're with an opera singer, that's
Right.
crazy.
And she plays the stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's beautiful. The high note, I hear it. That sounds great. I love you.
That's
Oh.
really funny. Y'all could have a reality show.
I
It'd be good.
think it was like for some reason the name Tarantella keeps popping up.
But I know nothing, so I'm not gonna be able to add
Right.
anything of interest
I
to
can
it.
say anything. Donatello, the famous opera Donatello Leonardo.
The Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I'm saying. No.
should move away from this topic because it's not gonna go anywhere.
You're right. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay. So do you remember what you told me?
Oh, my dream role. It
You
had
said
to be
you played
college.
it too. Yeah, you were like, I've already played mine too. I'm like, who the fuck am I speaking with?
Oh yeah, I played that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
played it twice. I was fortunate enough to play it twice.
Collins in Rent, for anyone who didn't
Yes,
catch that.
good old
Uh,
Collins.
I responded by saying I could be cool right now about this, but I'm not. I'm not going to be cool because any theater nerds who grew up when I grew up that are listening to this understand. Like if you were talking to someone, they're like, "Oh yeah, I played Collins in Rent." Touring. Did you? It was touring, right? You're on the touring company.
The first time we did it, I did it at college at Rutgers, and then we did it as like it was like a small run with a touring company actually in Newark, where I'm at now. And we rehearsed and did a nice little run actually at the Prudential Center right over here, not the Prudential Center, New Jersey, NJ Pack. That's what it was.
Right.
So that was fun. It was cool. And I always like to brag because she's such a big deal now, but MJ Rodriguez, who is one of the stars in FX's Pose, was my angel.
Wow.
So I always tell people, well, if you think I'm cool, you should check her out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. She's doing big things.
I had so much fun with you singing in the Cayman Islands because you, like me, are singing all the time.
We sang a lot of Rent.
We sang a lot of Rent, and we were on a boat. Imagine this: we're like in the middle of the ocean on a boat that like the person who was driving the boat like takes tourists out on the boat, but we were there, so like we all went, just as friends, and we're like drinking and high, and there was so much happening on that boat, and then you're like, live in my house. I'm like, okay, we can do this right now. Can we do what people with?
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm sure I started it, Erin. I'm sure I started it.
I don't know. Look, I get a few drinks on me. Rent comes out, the fanboy comes out all over again.
You did say to me, do you want to be my angel? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I've never sang that part. I always focus on Maureen or Mimi.
Yeah.
Even like Mark. I love singing Mark's part.
Oh, yes.
But I mean, I just sing the whole fucking show.
I get it. I get it, man. There's something so timeless about it. Like, even if I heard a little bit now, like, I'd be like, oh, that show. But 2 seconds later, I'd be like,
you can't yeah. I tweeted something like, you could take the kid out of theater, but I know what it was. It was like theater kids who become cool will instantly revert the second that they hear any line from Love, because you can't resist La Vie Boheme.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man, it's so true.
It is. We had a policy in my apartment when I lived with my friend Emily, because she was also a theater kid. And so between me and my husband and her, we were all theater kids and we all loved Rent.
Oh, hell yeah.
We had a no rent policy in our apartment
What? That.
because
Uh-huh.
one person would start and then it doesn't stop. It's a sung through rock opera. It doesn't stop. So when do you stop?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right.
If someone said a line, the other two were supposed to say no rent. Just to calm it down.
Man, well, we would have been bad roommates.
I mean, it was more, I think it was more Justin because he had some, you have some shows that you have bad memories attached with and you're like, I really don't want to go there right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was like that about Rent. He's not now. We sing now, but yeah, he was then. So he was like, we gotta calm it down.
Very fair. Very fair. Very fair.
Theater kids can go off.
Yeah, man. Now you got me thinking about like all of those times during tour. I had a few bad times during that tour, during that run.
Like what?
Whew. Are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this right here, right now?
Yeah.
Man. Okay. So if anyone, I can already imagine one of my friends listening to this and going, "Oh, Aaron, you fucking crazy." So, whew, I'll keep it very short. I won't use any names, but bottom line is one night we had a little get together. There was like 3 of us from the cast and like the crew that kind of got together because one of our friends had a house nearby. And long story short, I got really drunk. I got real drunk and did some things, man. Like some things.
This is like almost a story.
So, imagine the details. Detail number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I did all of that.
No, this is crazy. You're wild.
I got really drunk, man. Like, and we like did things that I did things I shouldn't have did. We went swimming in the ocean. I can't swim, BT dubs. So we did that. There was some salacious behavior, if you will. I think there might have been a vehicle involved. Like kids, any kids listen to this, get out of here right now and then come back. But it was so bad that I woke up the next day. And you know how like you drink so much and you wake up the next day and you're like, I don't know what really happened, but I
don't need to know.
I don't have any signs as to anything negative happening, so it's all good. So I'm walking to rehearsal and I'm like, hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Pointing, I'm like, doing my thing. And everybody's like, nobody's talking to me. Not one person. Everybody's like, okay, people are sitting away from me. And I'm like, what is going on? And my boy came up to me. He was like, how you doing? You feeling all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. What you talking about? And like, you don't remember anything from last night?
That's the worst.
I was like, I don't think so, no. And then he ran me through the events of the night. And I found my little corner and I kind of held myself there for a couple days.
Wow. That is just the worst moment when someone has to update you on what actually happened.
Dude, yeah. Like the shame. Shame.
This is part of why I stopped drinking, because I never had a problem with drinking, but whenever I drank, I blacked out and did things. And then the next day it was like, this was a choice. I don't, and one of the things that's interesting about not drinking is that never becomes a question, and yet I'll still forget stuff that happened. So, I think it gets skewed, like you blame it on alcohol, but then it actually was just like regular memory loss or regular cloudiness or whatever.
Yep.
Or even hangovers. Like when I'd stopped drinking, I still felt hungover sometimes, or what I used to call hungover. It's just lack of sleep and dehydration.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit, you can, or I ate a lot of Chinese food and then went to sleep, and then I wake up feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And I blame that on alcohol, but it was like, no, it was just bad food.
Right.
It was bad for you.
Still. I hear you. Yeah, I look back at a lot of those choices, and I'm like, man, why did I do that? And then I can reason myself into why I did that.
Right.
Like whether I'm proud of it or not. But I completely understand that. Kids, don't drink. It's not cool.
It's
It's not cool.
it's not worth it at some point.
Yeah, it really is not. Yeah.
There's a lot of superficial reasons why not too, because I feel like it ages you,
Mhm.
and also costs a lot of money. And there's just like all these things that when you stop, it's like,
Mhm.
hmm,
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
benefits I didn't know about.
It's yeah. I don't know how free we're getting here, but I have a hard time sleeping as it is. So I started smoking weed on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Just to get to sleep. And the amount of alcohol that I consume now is minuscule compared to what I did beforehand. Like, and I only used it as a substitute just to get some sleep, but
Yeah.
I drink maybe a quarter of what I used to. It's insane.
Yeah, I think that happens, and I've had this similar experience of I really only have weed around if Justin gets it. So like I won't go seek it out, but if it's there, I'm like, oh, okay. But I also like use it to sleep or to
Yeah.
write music.
Yeah. The songs that you will write under the influence are a
I,
lot different
I
than,
mean, it'll come in like a second.
yeah.
It's like
It's kind of awesome.
it is awesome. I had because I think you know this like right when I came to see you, I told you I was like writing a song every week, and I had just written the first one and sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You put some music under it and whatever, but I my method became okay, here's this period of time in which I need to write a song. I will smoke. And the best day I had was when I got in a hot shower, brought my phone in. I have a pop socket mount in my shower so that I can like hang it up,
Wow, that's awesome.
right? Away from the water. It's waterproof anyway. All the phones are waterproof now,
Right.
but
Right.
and then I just hit the voice memo button and then just sing.
That's a really good idea. I never thought about that.
Try it.
I'm gonna go to Amazon right now and get that
It's
shit.
lovely. Yeah. Get a pop socket. I have pop sockets all over my house, and then I can always just
Nice. Yeah.
put it places.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
I hold my phone too much.
Everything. It's everything.
Yeah. And then you get that pinky pain because
Oh yeah. My
you
pinky is
on
like
your
shiny right there.
phone.
Yep. It's like especially raw and
Mhm.
because of how much I hold it like that.
The groove only fits the phone and nothing
Yeah.
else.
But yeah, seriously, like the stuff that comes out of me, it's almost like once I'm stoned, then it's just like I kind of just get into the shower and go, all right, I'm ready, go. And then something comes and I'm like, okay. And then I sing it. And my only issue is sometimes I can't sing the thing in my head. Sometimes I think something more complicated than I can vocally do.
Mm.
Or I hear the note and I try and sing it and it comes out flat. And I'm like, God damn it, I hear it. I can't, why can't I sing that note right now? And sometimes that's because I'm stoned. So like it has a double edge there.
Right. You definitely got to know like where the line is before you can not do things.
Well, it dehydrates you too. So it like that fucks with your vocal cords. And then, I don't know if you noticed that, but like I have a harder, everything I've ever sent you, I've been stoned while singing. So all the vocal tracks, which is why I'm like, this is so,
I really couldn't tell.
yeah. I mean, I felt very raspy. Like, I feel like all of that was just like, here's just placeholder ideas.
Yeah.
Or like, here's my vocal track that I no. I'll just be going into a phone or a microphone just to try and get an idea down.
Back and like, what the hell is?
Yeah. You made it sound good too.
Oh,
Anyway.
hey, look, man, it was good. I told you when I heard it, I was like, I hear something. I can definitely hear.
Yeah. Well, I really like what you did with the chorus of the first thing I sent you, which I've done nothing with since then. I'm going to play it because this is interesting.
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't had any of my creative partners on the podcast yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, the first one. Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you've only sent me a few things, so. Yeah.
I totally just got like I don't know. I just got hard like No Doubt Gwen Stefani vibes. And in Spiderweb, I was like,
one of my biggest influences.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
I always think that's so interesting. Like, no matter where you're from, like you can hear somebody sing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it works like this for you, but it definitely does for me. And I'm like, I know who you listened to growing up. Like, I can hear your influence.
I don't have that good of an ear for it. I don't think but I've witnessed people doing that or people. So I'm working with this kid that I actually met at this podcast studio, Christian, who I met him and I sent him something that I did on piano, and within 24 hours, Aaron, he had already produced the whole track, and we had hopped on Zoom so that he could run a few things by me, and then we finished in 24 hours.
That's awesome.
I was like, holy shit. Here, I'll find that too. I think I sent it. Only my Breakup with Your Bullshit private Facebook group has had access to it yet, because it's not done. And I was just like, I wanted to share with them what happened, because I thought it was cool that like first the podcast got invented with them, and then like this thing happened.
That's a cool community you got, man. That's really dope.
Thanks.
I see you out here making these moves, doing the damn thing.
We're doing some stuff. I'm planning an event for February, and it's December right now. This will probably come out in January. So there's going to be a live Zoom conference.
Ooh.
Yeah. In February.
I love it, man.
It's super cool. I'm very excited. It's nice to like see a whole bunch of like-minded people coming together and supporting one another. And I get into the Facebook group to like chat with them, but they're all supporting. They don't even need me. Like they're like cheering each other on, giving each other advice.
Hey, that's all you create the space for it, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's everything.
That's super dope.
I'll find it in a second. But yeah, I want to talk about Duwendé also, because well, obviously.
Good old Duwendé.
Yeah, man. So I just have to tell you, and did your album come out or just singles?
Just singles for now. We're looking at about February for the LP release.
Rad.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Yeah, it should be fun. It'll be dope. We got a few more singles coming out. Just a little warm up beforehand, dropping a couple of those bad boys.
Yeah. I really enjoy playing the first one that you put out for people, and then telling them that it's a cappella after they've been listening to it for a little while, because they don't believe me.
That's my favorite thing in the world. And like, oh, this is all vocal.
Yeah, I think we should play some of it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna get that first, and then I'll show you my other thing in a second.
I think there's some unreleased stuff that I'd love to get your opinion on.
Oh yeah, let's do that too. This is gonna be fun. Oh yeah, Dangerous. So when you played this for me in Vermont, because we had, through total happenstance, we're at Mark's house in Vermont at the same time, and you were saying that you really wanted to make something that sounded like you wanted to make a hip hop album that sounds like a hip hop album and doesn't sound like a cappella, right?
Mm-hmm. Very, very much so. Yeah, I'm always looking for how to get away from the, for lack of a better word, gimmick of a cappella.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I just always notice, for the most part, when you listen to a cappella, you can clearly tell it's a cappella, and then you have to appreciate it in its own kind of way.
Right.
And my goal was to make stuff that you could play on a playlist and not realize that you're actually listening to an a cappella song in the midst of that playlist.
I really think that you have achieved that. And and so that's why I really want people to hear this. Okay, so Dangerous by Duwendé. So we'll listen to the first little bit here.
Can you feel it? The unknown in the sky. your breath and brace yourself.
Oh, I love
Uh, oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, that is fun. That I love that song. I really do.
I had it on repeat, driving around with the windows down, blasting it everywhere I went. Like I'm telling people, like I'm like, do you hear? Are you listening? Apartment
Y'all hear
complex?
hey, y'all hear this shit?
Y'all hear?
Oh man, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. Like when I wrote that song, I definitely wanted to write something. I just wanted to set the tone. The other thing that I notice and specifically in acapella is like I just wanted to make something sexy. You know, like I hear a lot of acapella music and it's like, you know, if you're familiar with it, you know, like either Pitch Perfect, you know, Pentatonics,
Right.
you might know some other groups, but that's what you hear and that's pretty much what you get.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard of those things, you think barbershop quartet or,
Right.
you know, old school version. And every single time I'm like, no, it's none of that. It's actually,
Yeah.
so yeah, I really wanted to try to make something that I told the band when I was writing, I was like, I want to make something you could fucking make a baby to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like baby making music. And just fun party music as well. And I think we did that. So I'm excited for the stuff that's coming out.
Totally. I mean, hair in my mouth. I think sexy is a word that most people would never attach to acapella.
Right.
So it's so funny because like sexy. What?
I'm
But
like,
totally.
if you're gonna do this shit, I'm gonna do this shit. So
Yeah. Okay, so here's the song Christian and I produced in 24 hours. We're working on a finalized version. I got my microphone after. So that microphone that you're sitting next to, I got it now. And I mean, the vocals are just a completely other level.
Really? It's
Yeah.
a clean mic, man. It's a very, very clean, especially like for like high end stuff. It just comes through super crystal clear.
I did a Selena Gomez cover. I just did a Julie Michaels cover yesterday. And it, like what it can pick up, it's just, I'm so happy.
Isn't it amazing, the difference?
I mean,
it's wild.
I've been making covers on other microphones my whole life. And now I'm like, wait, so you can pick up everything, including my just like little things that make such. I notice now when I'm recording, I feel more like I'm performing than I have ever before because I feel like I'm being witnessed in a way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know that stuff picks up on microphones too. You know, like you can tell, you can hear a smile, you can hear all of that shit.
Yeah,
that's awesome. What were you using before?
a Shure, like just like a stage mic.
Kind of.
Before that, a Blue Snowball.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
58.
SM58. Yeah.
Nice. Play this. I'm trying to hear this joint.
Okay.
Hear this fire.
So I'm standing in place, pressing hold rock bottom. I can call on mama. The future is not a face, and in rarefied air, I retrace my steps and review every lesson, and each one sounds like a prayer. I will not give so much of myself to the undeserving. I will honor intuition, respect what I'm learning, and I won't let poison minds affect my life. I can see there's a future where I'm flying high. Angel wings carrying me through certain skies. And my fear won't leave, it can be along for the ride. I'll still be me, just seeing the world through fresh new eyes. So I'm right in that place when I want to give.
I really like that.
Thanks.
I really like that. That sounds really, really dope.
Thanks.
I feel like I hear your personality. Like to your point, like I can hear you. Well, even before that, that was before the microphone, right?
Yeah, that was before the microphone.
I could still hear it. That sounds great.
Thanks. Yeah, we're working on just finalizing it. He added a bunch of shit to the track. Like the next day, he was like, "I have a new version." Like, okay.
That's awesome.
Like, he's so
What's
great. Oh, Christian Cordes.
nice?
He's
Shout out
rad.
to Christian. That's what's up.
Shout out Christian.
Shout out to you, Christian.
Yeah, he's super cool, and he was here producing a podcast and like just being moved by the conversation I was having when we started talking, and then I shared that with him, and we both have lost a parent, and
Mhm.
and that I talk about my mom in the song, so he felt connected to it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's neat when it happens like that. Like he'll be like, "Hey, do you want to hop on Zoom real quick?" I'm like, "Actually, I'm free right now." When does that ever happen? Okay. And he's like, "I have ideas for the music video. Here's how we're gonna distribute it. I've never produced for an artist before." Like he's so sweet. He's
Oh,
so
that's
freaking sweet.
awesome. That's awesome. Are you
Yeah.
gonna release it?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. I love it. Yo, do the damn thing. Fuck yeah.
It's funny too because it wasn't my it wasn't my first choice of the first thing I'm gonna put out.
Mhm.
Probably because it's my most sincere personal song, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna put up some of my like chaotic bullshit first."
I don't want to be too vulnerable out the gate.
Yeah, I don't want to go right out. Like I had a complete like identity crisis that week when I wrote that song.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I went to therapy about it. I talked to my coach about it. I like,
Beautiful. It's beautiful. You paint a really nice picture, like vocally. It really is.
appreciate that, man.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? Like the difference between songs that actually mean something to you personally versus something you're just doing to make a banger. That's like,
Oh yeah. Every single time. Yeah, I've been in the world. I've been writing a lot of music for pitching songs. Specifically like in Asia, so like K-pop and J-pop songs.
oh, rad.
And as much as I love writing songs about being, you know, I don't know, happy and cheerful and sweet as sugar and all this other shit, you know, to your point, there's a huge difference between that and or trying to make something for a specific reason and something that just kind of comes from the heart, you know.
Totally.
Whew. And then you hit that play button back, and then you get one of the. Sometimes water comes out your eyes. I still don't know what the fuck that's about, but
neither. I had when I was writing that one, I wrote the line. It's like the third line. It's I can't call on my mom.
Mm.
And then I just looked at it. Do you ever like write something and then just go, "Did I just write that?"
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, that's good.
Mm.
Maybe I'll never write anything good ever again. That's literally that's what my brain does.
Oh man, I hear you. I totally hear that. Even weeks after, it's like, what the fuck was that? Who
Yeah.
was that? I did that shit.
Did I steal that? I had to have stolen that.
Oh, you're right. Somebody did that, and I took that shit. That's had to be what happened.
I heard this story once of a woman who worked with Prince, and Prince was playing something on piano when she walked into the studio, and he finishes and then turns to her and goes, "That's beautiful. Did I write that?" And I heard that story and I went, "Oh, I'm not weird."
That is a Prince ass Prince story. Did I do that? Am I amazing? Oh yeah, that's right. All right, let's do this show.
It was a podcast. In the episode I heard that in, they also told the story of a band working all night recording something, and then the person who is telling the story walks in the studio, hears the recording, and is like, "Oh, cool cover," and they're like, "What? We just wrote this." And they're like, "No, you didn't."
Oh shit!
Like straight up from their brain wrote out and performed and completely produced an entire song that was not their song.
Man, that's the worst.
I'm so scared of that.
I've done that a few times. I have specific people that I send my shit to, and I'm like, "Yo, does this sound like something?" Specifically, my boy Derek and Duwendé. I'll be like, "Yo, is this familiar?"
Yeah, I send stuff to Jocelyn, and it's very unhelpful. Most of the time, she goes, "I think you did steal that, but I can't think of from who." Well, now I'm more paranoid, but also I might not need to be because maybe you're wrong. So I need a final ruling on this.
Yeah.
Like, help me.
So the song you just played, that's the one?
Oh no, not that. That one I know I wrote. and I don't hear anything in it. But there's been other days where I sit and write an entire thing and then throw it out because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I stole that riff from Lady Gaga.
Oof. Look, switch a couple notes around.
I did do that once. I did do that because you and Elena both said that to me. They're like, change the key or
play with the rhythm.
Yeah, the rhythm, tempo.
Yeah.
So I've done that a bit, but then I still kind of feel like, I mean, most things are just the combination of the same 4 notes anyway. So
literally, yeah. I mean, we're all playing the same notes.
right.
And then there are millions of songs, so you're bound to run into something.
Totally.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
What's something you're working on right now?
I'm actively writing from myself for the first time in a really long time. And I've made a lot of things. I've thrown out a lot of things. Still, quote unquote, trying to figure out my sound. And, you know, so like my background musically, I went to school for music. So I know a little bit about like theory and, you know, all the things like that. I sang for a company called Hank Lane for a really long time, still do here and there, which is, we do a lot of events, mostly weddings, but it's a pretty well-known company, but that requires you to learn so much music,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like so many songs. So I know easily like all of the top songs from the past like 40, 50 years,
right?
Like all the lyrics, which kind of I feel like gives me a leg up, but also leaves me at a disadvantage at the same time.
It's all in your brain.
It's all in my brain, like melodies, lyrics, rhythms.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's rough, but it's all, you know, it's cool to pull from. But kind of to your point, like everything I'm writing now is like, that had to be a thing. That's totally it. So, yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm getting closer to releasing some stuff. I'm looking at releasing some stuff definitely in the first quarter of the new year. So
good.
Yeah, that'll be dope. I'm also really hoping, we're getting a lot of good feedback from these K-pop and J-pop songs, so I'm hoping to get a placement there pretty soon. That'll be dope. And then yeah, we're gonna release some of the Duwendé stuff early 2021. Yeah, I'm really excited for everybody to hear that that stuff.
Me too, because I got some sneak peeks when we were in Vermont.
Girl.
That's nice.
Let me tell you, yeah, man. Yeah, but in the midst of it all, literally trying to like navigate my way through the like unwillingness to be seen. You know, I notice I do a lot of behind the scenes work, you know, like even you and I, like you'll send me some stuff. I don't mind producing or songwriting, but then now it's time, you know, people are always saying like, when we gonna see you? When we gonna hear from you?
Yeah.
You know, at some point, maybe soon.
You turn into Kermit?
Yeah, Kermit the Frog here.
Oh my God, it's really good.
Sweet. I've never done that before. Sweet.
Add it to the resume.
There it is. Yeah, another way to not be seen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, just go be a puppet. Literally.
Yeah, but that's my biggest challenge for the next at least 3 months, is like focus on ways that I could be seen. So
yeah,
showcase.
That's awesome. So you're gonna do like some singles, or are you working on an EP or an album?
I think I'm gonna pump out a few singles. Definitely in the first 6 months of the new year, just focus all on singles. You know, it's a single market now.
Yeah.
Especially like because I've released stuff on my own before. I did an EP like 6 years ago, and since then I've just been like, so yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and you know, I'm also super present to how often things change in the music industry and sounds and trends and things like that. And not that I'm trying to write for the times, but I'm a huge fan of pop. Like,
yeah,
I love R&B. I was raised on hip hop. Like, you know, between my brother and my cousins and growing up where I grew up, I was raised on that. But I love a good pop song, man.
Yeah. I was raised on a mix of pop, R&B, and rock. But there was a lot of R&B in my life, though. As I look back, I think hugely influenced the way that I sang and what I enjoy singing. Because it's vocally, there's a lot of stuff in R&B that's vocally difficult and challenging in a way. So I like that.
Up for the challenge. I hear that, man.
Yeah, yeah.
What was I always ask people like, what's the thing do you remember like being played in your house growing up, like the most?
There wasn't a lot of music being played in my house,
Oh, fair. Okay.
other than Christmas music and stuff, you know,
Mm.
or like classic. I don't know. My mom always had mixtapes of oldies, and
Mm.
we had one, and this is gonna be not a good story because I can't remember any of the tracks right now.
Uh,
But she had mixtapes for like, we're gonna clean, so we're gonna put this mixtape on. But I mostly remember the Christmas ones,
mm.
like to the point where I'll hear a certain Christmas song and then it gets to the end and I expect like it to go to the Nutcracker next because that
Right.
was the mixtape.
Right. Right. Right.
There's people listening now who don't even understand what a mixtape is. So that's
Oh my goodness. Well, this was fun. Bye, everybody.
yeah, I'll see my way out. But I brought a lot of music in, and I mean, my first album that I ever purchased was Tragic Kingdom, no doubt,
Mm.
with
Yep.
my own money. My sister got TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool, and I
Those
listened
solid
to
first albums. Like,
right. When she had it on her Christmas list, I was like, "You have the word sex on your Christmas list," you know.
they're never gonna get that for you.
That's not right. But then she did. She got it. I was like, they got it for you.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I know every word of that album,
Oh hell yeah.
including the interludes, including the one where T-Buzz is pretending to be taking a shit. I was like, if you could pass me some tissue so I can wipe my ass. It's the best.
No, I completely forgot about that. Whoa. They was on some other shit, or they were trailblazers.
They were And then like later on, I got really into 702. I was listening to the
Oh,
702 album with Where My Girls At on it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's such a banger. And then like they had other interludes on that album that are like the first interlude is 7, and there's like 7, 7, and then they like, talk and there's a beat. They talk
Oh
over
my
it.
goodness.
But the thing I love the most is like there's this one song that's like, I bet you never imagine that one day you'd look around and I just wouldn't be there. So I hear you leaving.
Oh
Please
my God.
don't go. I want to make it right. Because tomorrow is just not promised. You never know what tomorrow holds. And then goes into the song.
No.
When did we stop talking at the beginning of
I
the
was
song?
about to say what an era in music, like in R&B music specifically.
Yeah.
Like there was something innocent and kind of precious about it.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you won't hear that anymore.
No.
Not like that.
No one would try. I mean, and it wasn't a single, but still.
Mm.
Still. I don't think you'll catch that on the album.
Nah. Man, what an era of music.
Was. So I love that. And when I played that song I played for you for my private Facebook group, and they're like, I'm getting a 90s vibe. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm happy for you to have a 90s vibe. I really don't think I'll write anything that doesn't sound 90s or early 2000s.
Right.
It's my favorite time.
Right.
It's like why I want to do music.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel the same way. That's usually when I write music, people get that feel, like that early 2000s R&B feel, which is like my favorite kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like what 112, Jagged Edge, like that whole era of music, like it was just so much fun. But
I was also like, I mean, obviously I was hugely into pop music, and it was like that was Britney's time, it was Christina's time, it was Alanis in the 90s. I mean, there was just so much. You could pretty much put on anything from that time period, and I will be very happy to sing it.
I feel you. I always tell people. I used to be super embarrassed about it, and I never told anybody. But now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But my first album purchase was actually Forever. Spice.
Right, Harry. Spice Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Spice Girls have an album called Forever. I don't think I ever had an album.
It's the one with I think the lead single was Holler. I wanna make you holler.
I don't.
And it had,
I'm looking it up. 2000.
Right?
Yeah. I think I had Spice, the 1996 album.
Oh yeah. I need some love like you never need love before. Wanna make love to you, baby. That's the one. Yep. It was so funny. I was a little black kid from the hood bumping in my CD player. What you listening to? Nothing. You understand? I'm listening to Biggie.
Meanwhile, your headphones are bleeding and you don't know.
Yeah. Why you crying? What? Huh? Because Biggie's lyrics are just so meaningful to me. I wasn't listening to Become One. No, of course not.
I mean, let's face it. That's a good one. It's a good one.
Yo.
Hold up.
Yep. Oh, so good. So good.
Thank you for being that open and vulnerable on the podcast. I think everyone will appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure.
I predict some confessions in the comments and sharing, what their first album purchase was.
Oh man. Yep. You learn you either are really surprised by that question or not surprised at all.
Right.
Not much in between.
I mean, I do a damn good Gwen Stefani. I don't think I'll ever be able to cover a Gwen Stefani song and not sound like her. Because it's like there's certain artists that if I do covers, I really try to make them my own. But there's certain artists that I can't really get away from imitating them. Because it's like I have a trained. If I do Just a Girl, I had a cover band, and anytime we did anything, No Doubt, they're like, "You sound just like her."
Yeah.
Well, it's not really my goal to sound like her, but I just
can't get away from it. Yeah, it's I that's one thing I've been able to like navigate, and nobody's ever been able to like say, "Hey, you know who you sound like? You sound like this." And I imagine that's just because I've had to learn a bunch of different musical styles.
Right.
Like big band stuff. Foreign language songs, pop, rock, everything in between. But I always love that you can kind of hear that influence. I really, really love that. I really love that.
That's cool. See, every time I talk to you, I feel inspired and like better about my music stuff. It's nice.
Oh, likewise. I really appreciate that.
Oh,
you made me feel like an artist out this motherfucker.
Yeah, man. You mentioned earlier that you wanted to play some stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to get your opinion and just share a little bit.
And you could always send me the actual tracks so I could put them in so the audio is better.
Yeah, no problem. I think because I don't know if you've gotten the new the Apollo Twin yet.
Not yet.
But when you do, I realized that when you're on a Zoom, you can actually play on Zoom, and we can both hear it.
Okay, so I was going to put off getting it because of the learning curve and the lack of time I have to learn it. But you told me that.
Well, let me try it out because I might have just said some shit that I might not be sure.
Because that's actually an issue with me and Christian trying to do stuff from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like he can't really play stuff for me.
Right. Yeah. Let me see if this works out. Yeah, I'll share our new single that's going to come out next month. Actually, just give you a little taste.
Okay.
It is called Fantastic.
Nice.
And what I've been telling people, or I guess the thing that I've been really saying about it is, it's kind of like a hip hop ode to transparent intentions, consent, and like a big shout out to the socially awkward people who are trying to shoot their shot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So let me pull it up if I can find this bad boy right here. Yeah, let me know if you could hear this. It is as hip hop as this album will get. Give me 1 second. There we go. Can you hear that? Wait a minute. There.
Oh yeah, nerdy, gifted, early 30s, face clean, sound dirty, kind of flirty. Ladies hurt me, please don't hurt me in no hurry. Need to run, let's get it done. Change your mind, spend the night, have fun. You can catch my vibes so we can spread the love, but maybe make connection, but use protection. Choose an exit, overextended, no need to walk for shame when you can stay for breakfast. If it's up to me, then maybe you should kick it. Yeah, you and me, love, we both feeling it. We both need to feed off the attention. Narcissistic, can't argue with it, cause it's electric, even psychedelic. psychedelic. Baby, you angelic and my ex is jealous.
Hey, what you doing? Can I spend some time? Do ya have a name? And can I call you mine, baby? You're so classy, you're so nasty. You can do it, and do it, you just ask me. I like your style, I love your smile. Been wanna get with you, baby, for a while. It's gonna be a night, I hope we can last it. But if we don't, you're fantastic.
Yep, fantastic, not just pretty cool. I mean, more than dope, like butter.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.
We be getting into it, man. I'm trying out here.
Oh, I love it. And it does, like you were talking about, like the 90s, but it definitely brings that vibe to mind.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
Just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun, man. I really love just writing fun music that just gives you an opportunity to escape.
I like writing angsty shit that gives you an opportunity to like have an experience of your anger.
Yes, that I'm learning this about you.
Yeah, you were like, shit. This one, like the lyrics of the one that I sent you, were like, that's savage.
I was like, oh, my heart, my eyes. Who cutting onions, Jesus?
I feel like I am when I write, I'm either like writing something really sincere, like hopeful, or really fucking angry. And it's always my favorite music is like someone on Twitter was like, tell us your musical style, like of your favorite music in one word. And I said angst. Because I just like it. I'm not good at expressing my anger. So when I can get it out via music, it's just very cathartic.
Yeah. Getting that release, man. It's important.
I follow this girl on Twitter who just posts things that I'm always like, yeah, that. You know, like she'll just be pissed off and like going off. And one day she posted something and I replied and I was like, this is a song. I'm gonna make a song today. And it was the one I sent you, the Inside My Head.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she posted something like how terrifying would it be if that guy that you fantasize about actually wanted you? What would you fantasize about?
Ooh.
After that? Like you would be so lonely in your head after.
Jeez.
So then I wrote that like, I only want you to live inside my head.
Yeah.
I only want you to live inside my head. Oh, and my favorite is stay in my head, out of my bed.
Damn. That is clear. That is very clear.
My favorite was just sending it to her an hour after she posted it. She was like, like marijuana.
Shout out to weed. Big ups.
Like, okay, weed, engage. We must write a song about this. Ready, go. Here's the song.
Oh my goodness. Yep. Part of me wants to believe, I could be crazy, but part of me wants to believe that the best songs I've written were ones that I was high.
Hey.
You know, I dig them in a very specific way, but
something that happens.
It's the vibe, man. It's the vibe. Yeah, I wrote another song last year with a friend of mine. His name is Sakib. Very awesome artist. Definitely check him out if you can. His name is Sakib, Saakb, Sakib. Called Pause This Moment. And that is probably one of the more vulnerable songs that I've ever been a part of writing. But he had the idea, he had this really awesome hook that, yeah, it's just super memorable. And his voice is super, super sick. He gets a lot of comparisons to The Weeknd because his voice is very high, very melodic. But I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Talking about weed.
Oh yeah, shout out to weed. No. Yeah, it's just that's one of the songs that I was able to kind of like actually access that vulnerable part of me that I'm so unwilling to access on a regular basis, you know.
I think that's what it's about. I think that's why, like, I don't think you need weed. I just think it turns off some fear.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It like turns the volume down on it or like extracts it from you for a little bit. And
I think that's the perfect way to put that. Like it turns the volume down on that shit.
So
You
it
know,
does, like when I write sober, I can write sober. It's just I immediately start judging it and I don't give it a lot of space to breathe, which is what it needs. And Aaron, I know that I'm doing it. I'm aware. I'm like, you just shut the door. Yeah, I did, bitch. Like I have like a little back and forth in my head.
yeah, yeah. I know that feeling all too well. It's good to know I'm not alone.
Yeah. Right. I had people ask me like, but how do you get past it? How do you get past it? And my answer is always like, you just keep going. Like right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
I'm just putting a lot of pressure on purpose onto myself to like I have to write a song today. I got to finish it because I said I would,
Right.
and I said that if I don't, that I will not get this thing. Like I put a reward and a consequence on the line, and an accountability partner, and then
I
it
love
forces
that you
me
do that. That's really awesome. It's something really want to try to start doing to kind of motivate myself.
we can do it. I'll be your accountability bitch. Neutral bitch.
That's what I always wanted.
Mhm. Well,
No,
me,
yeah.
Christine Sachs is my accountability bitch.
I
She's tough. You
need
know
an
Christine,
accountability
right?
person. I
Yeah.
can't bring myself to say an individual. Yeah, yeah. I'm very guilty of I'm sure you're probably the same. I have probably hundreds of unfinished things that I've either written off or told myself, yeah, I'm gonna get to it, for one reason or another, and I just haven't. But
Yeah, but you will. You know, like and I think with that stuff, I'm noticing more and more. I'll take it out of music and talk about something different. So
mm,
around the apartment, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done.
mm, mhm.
Odd jobs here and there. Oh yeah, that rip in the carpet that we need to ask them to fix. The heater's kind of not working right. This shelf has stuff on it that makes no sense, and we should probably put it in a different place and make the shelf more functional. But when got to clean out the spice cabinets, there's probably stuff in there from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's all of that, and then there's one thing at a time and prioritization. And I've noticed in the last since August, since I started like doing this accountability thing,
Mm.
that things that have been on the back burner for years are starting to seem possible
Huh.
because I'm getting stuff done in the present. And then I'm like, oh, I've just made room to bring this thing back in,
Hmm.
including like I cleaned out the spice cabinet and all of these different things. And I went on Instagram and said, here's my spice cabinet. I'm going to show it to you again before the end of today, and it's going to look different, and I'm going to throw stuff out. And I've been wanting to do that for years, but I need accountability. Like I just won't do it.
And that's a major thing. Like a spice cabinet is not a small task,
No,
right?
I had stuff from
Like, oh, that year you had stuff from that year? That's crazy. What a crazy year.
I had stuff that moved with me from my Brooklyn apartments in boxes, like that we just shoved in there. And like, I'm not using it. It's just like a 2014 garlic powder.
Why do we do that? Like, I'm convinced we all do that on some level when it comes to a fucking spice cabinet.
Yeah.
That cardamom you bought 10 years ago, you ain't used it then, and you're not going to use it.
I have 4 things of cinnamon. Why? And I threw 2 out.
Oh,
They were bad. I still have 4. I had 6.
damn.
Like, I'm in like, oh, I'll buy some cinnamon. I'm going to use it for this one thing. And then
Right.
not the challenge, not the cinnamon challenge. Oh, I'm around for that. But like hot chocolate or I'm going to make French toast and put cinnamon on it. And then all of a sudden I have 6 cinnamons
Damn.
but that's kind of how ideas go. Like you
Yeah.
collect them. I mean, my voice memo, once I started this write a song every week, I would like play roulette with my voice memo, just like do that,
Mm-hmm.
pick one. Inevitably, I eventually land on a song that I started to sing into my phone at some point.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, that I could do something with that. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
What do you, what what do you think like the ratio is between like you attempting to finish a song and finishing it when you want to versus not? Like, what's your success rate in that regard? I'm
I
all curious.
literally had a 0% success rate before August.
Mm,
Never finished anything.
interesting.
Not to my satisfaction, or not like, or I had never stopped like even I played you Opt Out Humanity, which I wrote like 7 years ago,
Mm,
and there's a bridge that I kind of have in my head but I've never flushed out, and I just stopped. Like,
Mm.
I'm not going to get there. I'm just going to keep talking about this song I wrote once that's not really done. That's really good, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of not done.
Oof.
And but then starting in August, I never didn't, like every week. So I went from 0 to 100 basically.
Mm.
But now I'm past that. At the week, I was doing a weekly song thing for 12 weeks,
Hmm.
and I did that.
Fuck yeah. Nice.
Christine, very good accountability partner.
Was that the difference for you, Chris? Like an accountability person?
Yeah, because she's always been the person that if my coach is like, who could you utilize for accountability that you really don't want to utilize for accountability because you know that they're going to hold you, and I'm like, Christine, I've been saying that for 8 years, but I still wouldn't use her.
Mm.
So on some level, I just wasn't choosing to finish songs.
Right. I hear that. Damn,
And
for real. Chill. Stop giving me all the gems. Like, stop yelling at me right now. Nope. Why? Yeah.
it's a lot to be with when you finish.
It is. Yeah. It's a lot to be with at the end. And, for me, it still feels so insurmountable at the beginning. Or you start something and then you
Really
love it so
does.
much, that finishing it or living up to the rest of that feels
Yeah.
really impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Huge
Mm.
mountains.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes I feel like I can't breathe, or like I'm just like, it's like I can feel it all mounting over me, like it's this big thing, this
Mm.
presence that's there,
Mm.
and I have to just be like, chill.
Right.
Just be here with whatever's right here. Right, that's fine.
Mm.
There's a lot of internal dialoguing in this whole process.
I need a lot more practice with that. That's the stuff I need practice with. It's just like telling that voice or whatever it is that's making me not do that. Yo, chill the fuck out. We ain't with that shit right now.
You just have to like practice a lot. I mean, I had days where I had a panic attack because I was trying to force myself to write a song,
Mm.
and I had to like step away because it was, oh, I know what it was. So I had a friend pass away this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks. It was actually a former client of mine and an artist, and a bunch of us know him. So his name is Doug Hoover. He's amazing. I have a bunch of his art, his oil paintings in my house.
Mm.
He actually did portraits of Mark's dogs also.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a really special guy, and he was a client, and so we didn't know that he died. Because no one on his end knew to notify me, and
Yeah.
so we all just stopped hearing from him. He was in my groups, so it's a bunch of people that I've coached and all know him, and so someone found out and then told me, and then I told everyone, and so it was a whole thing. And he had been gone for a few months or for a month. It had been a while, and then we all felt guilty that we didn't know and all the things. And he was a big REM fan, and REM is my favorite band. So
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, REM and No Doubt. It's like,
Got it. Now it makes sense.
And so I wanted to do an REM cover, and I actually did. I just sent it to the group. I never made one for the whole internet. But then I wrote a song for him one day, and that was the day I had a panic attack because I was trying to force myself to write lyrics for it. And I had to like play it for Justin, which I never do, but I did. I was like, can I play this for you? And I played it for him, and he was like, maybe it just doesn't have words.
Ah.
It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Wow. Shout out to Justin.
Right? He's good. He's real good.
That's awesome, dude.
He's good for directing or for just, I don't know. If I'm ever stuck, like the answer is always to just like invite him into my office and share whatever I'm doing so he can, because he likes to provide that, but he does it a lot when I'm not asking for it, which isn't good. And I need to be responsible too for not letting him do that, because like, I'm letting you step over my boundary now, and now I'm annoyed, and like that's how fights start. So it's more like, please come into my office.
Oof.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Very vulnerable. I'm like I've done it twice in the last 6 months, only twice. And I'm like always shaking when I do it, because it's one thing to put something on the internet. It's another to play something for someone who's physically with you.
Right. Especially when you value their opinion in a major way. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Break up with your bullshit.
Yeah. Oh my God, Aaron, I wrote that in 2 seconds. My theme song for this. I was like, I was a Monday morning and I was like, oh, I forgot that I had to write a theme song. I told my whole breakup with your bullshit group that I was going to write a theme song,
Mm,
and I haven't. Shit.
hey,
I don't have a lot of time. And then I walked into my office and I sat down. I opened up Logic and I was like, well, it's happening right now. So ready, go. And that was one of those sober moments. There was no weed involved, but it came to me like as if I had weed.
I
Uh,
love that though. I like because even sometimes the best songs come from that type of stuff too, right? When you feel like you're under the gun and you have to, and then that barrier of like picking and choosing and the fear bullshit, like you actually just don't have time,
yeah,
you know?
I literally didn't have time.
Yeah, and look at that.
Yeah. Like I mean, it felt weird. It was like, what's the theme song? What's it gonna take for you to finally break up with your bullshit? Okay, that's it. Like that was my writing process.
Oh man, see that's the shit though, man. That's the shit. Some of the biggest hits have been written like that.
Yeah.
Like they were under the gun and they had a deadline or something like that. Um, and then they didn't want to do it. I think I heard a statistic like, or somebody in the industry from an interview said like 95% of the hit songs that are out there that we all know and love, about 95% of the time, the artist didn't want to do it or release it. You know, like
Believe
that, and that blew my mind.
Yeah.
So it goes beyond us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even the one I played for you, I'm like, yeah, that's not really the vibe of the music I want to put out. Like, I don't want to put out inspirational music. I want to put out angsty shit.
Right.
You know? Hold off, hold off, hold off. That's not what I want to do. But then, like, everyone who hears it likes it, and I'm like, all right,
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know enough to know from doing videos that you just publish, you just do it, and then whatever happens, it's okay because I used to put a lot of emphasis on one song, and then you remember that like it's just the 3 minutes,
Yep.
and then people are like, what else you got?
Mm-hmm. And you're like, wait, I spent 6 months on this 3 minutes. You don't want to listen to it for 6 months?
Give me the amount of recognition I feel I deserve for the
Right.
work that I did, please.
Oh man, yep. I know that feeling. And then I start to tell myself like that's what's been making me write quicker, especially with these pitch songs.
Mhm.
Is like it's a moment. It's a moment, and if I get too precious with it,
Yeah.
it starts to lose its value a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And consume it the way that they naturally do.
Right.
I can't go out there and ask people to consume the music the way, like, sit down, like do all this. As much as I'd like that, and that's why we kind of write, like that's unrealistic. We're all on our phones, we're on the go. So
I feel like if you have a key group of people who you know are going to listen to it the way you want it to be listened to, you could get that need met on purpose. Like I've got a few people who only give me positive feedback because they don't know music stuff enough to even be able to give me concrete. Like there's no space for it. So they just love what I do and want to hear it. And I send it to them and they're like, I love this. Here's my favorite line. Here's this. And I need that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't need it from everybody. I just need it from someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I need the person who's going to be like, have you thought about changing that instrument out and like doing this instead? Or
Yeah.
what's this lyric? What's that about? And what does that mean to you? And I need that too.
It's the combination of both.
Yeah.
It really is.
And not leaving it up to the peanut gallery and just like,
Whew.
I remember my coach was like, I was complaining one day about someone giving me constructive criticism in an Instagram comment like, that I did not ask for at all. And she's like, well, and why is it that you aren't training your audience how to talk to you?
Damn, the gems.
Shit.
You gonna start charging people for this podcast if you just gonna use gems like that? I mean, come on. Shit. Can't be giving it away for free, girl. Come on.
Well, I started training people. I started putting up posts where I'm like, PSA, I'm not interested in your feedback unless I've asked you for it. Do I pay you? If I don't, like, here's the flow chart. You have criticism for me? Do I pay you? And
Right.
It's like, do not give it. I don't
Shut the fuck up.
care what you think. I pay people who I care. And then like I have friends that I care.
Yep.
And I have that all curated. So I don't need your, it's funny because there was someone who was trying to buy 2 microphones, one of each color.
Hmm.
And then like I don't have it set up that you can do that. You can buy 2 of the same color, but I don't know how to do it on Squarespace. And she wrote, "Hey, I know that you don't want feedback, but I was wanting to buy 2 microphones." Yeah, no, I was like, honey, this is not that. Like that's so you're so yeah, this is customer service. You want to give me money? I'm like, this is customer service. That's different feedback than I put up a song and you want to tell me what I should change about it, and I don't fucking know you. Like,
oh shit.
because here's the thing too, like you don't take in feedback from people that you don't know.
Yeah, how can you? You know, it's difficult to do, and yeah, there's probably some validity in what people say here and there, but the bottom line is if I can't take it in, now we're just kind of going up against each other like that. So I totally hear that.
Well, it's like, and my coach could say something to me and my husband could say the same thing, but I'll hear my coach better because I'm paying her.
Yeah.
I am a request for this. I've invited it into my home. I want it to come in. You're not banging on my window being like, you should really think about your lyric structure.
I'm not a professional in any sense of the word, but listen to me. Yeah. Let me tell you some shit. Essay. Yeah. Scroll.
So not interested.
Yep. Everybody becomes a fucking pro on the internet, man.
Oh my God. Over the years, I let way too many people do that to me. And then I was like, I gotta tough through this. I gotta whatever. And it's like, no, you don't. Just tell people just fucking delete comments and block people and do whatever you want to do so that because I don't know about you, but like I'm really sensitive.
Girl, I'm sensitive. I was offended 3 times. No, I'm very very sensitive as well. I hear you.
Yeah. So like you got to protect your creative spirit and not let it get dampened by people saying shit. And I logically understand that it doesn't matter.
Right.
The person thinks, but that doesn't mean I don't have a visceral physical reaction to it that then causes a chemical change in my body and create a higher volume of fear. And, like it affects me.
Right. Fucking human, man. Yeah. And especially like in the day and age that we live in, internet, social media, and knowing for a fact that there are people out there who are out there trying to dim your light on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like their sole purpose is to create some type of burner account or account where they can just talk shit.
Yeah.
Like I have to remind myself that there's a population that actively exists for that reason.
Yes.
A small percentage. So protect your peace.
You just never know. Which reminds me of that 702 song, You Just Never Know. Bring it back. You just never know. I'm making notes right now of which things we talked about that would be good for clips.
Ooh.
Just so I have some reference points.
All right. I like it. I dig.
Yeah, and then sometimes there's like straight up children talking to you. So you never know who's commenting on your shit.
Right. Man, that's so funny. My life lately has been a pretty steady diet of like music, songwriting, and Call of Duty. And man, these babies out here, I don't know, they are using language that I never thought to use at a specific age. My goodness. Because you can if you win or you kill them, you can hear them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear them screaming and Dad, and I'm like, oh my God. At first, oh my goodness, I killed a baby, and then they say some outlandish shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't belong here.
I never got into Call of Duty. I still play Halo though.
Oh hell yeah.
And there's less talking on Halo, though. I did recently have a game where someone sent me. I had to translate it because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but they sent me a message in Spanish that said I was cheating. That's quite a compliment because I was not cheating.
I love that.
I just got we were playing a game type where you get really crazy weapons. And
Mhm.
I happened to get the best sniper rifle in the whole game, where even if you're a little off, it still kills the person.
Mhm.
And so I was just like, headshot, 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 headshot. Like I took the entire team of 4 out twice in a row. Like they couldn't even move. They would respawn and I would just kill them.
Uh,
So I was just spanking them. Like it's what happened. It was because I'm a very good sniper rifle shot, but I happened to have like the best gun in the whole game.
right.
And so, yeah, I'm a cheater. I was
Look,
like,
hey,
what do you mean?
that's a huge compliment.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Whatever you
I
say.
screenshotted it. I put it on.
And you're old.
Yeah. It would be cool to just be able to like snap your fingers and see exactly the person,
Oh my goodness. I would pay money to have that feature.
their life situation. Oh, which doggies?
Party. Oh shit.
Have
Okay.
doggies joining us on the podcast.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Aaron, you can use your microphone when you get it to interview these doggies.
Oh. See, that's why I want one.
Yep. Oh, hi, sweetie.
Want to say hi, Bailey? Nope. Okay. She talks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're so cute. I love your little dog family.
Thanks, man. They're cute in public and a hassle behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know about that.
You're right. You get it.
I have two who are quite a handful in general.
I mean, I have so many just so many moments of like recording or working on something, and this one likes to just put her head on my lap underneath my desk as I'm doing it, and then I can't. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the take and the session sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
My Chihuahua, sometimes if I hit a certain note, he howls with me. Whenever I do the Wizard and I from Wicked,
Mm-hmm.
the last,
Mm-hmm.
there's something about the pitch of it that he's just like,
Oh, we doing this, Mom?
yeah.
Hell yeah. I love that. Yeah, they I don't know, they get scared when we sing sometimes.
I bet. I mean, between you and Elena,
Right.
there's power in that house.
Yeah, there's a lot. One of the dogs will just hide every single time. Like you'd think we're torturing them actively on a regular basis.
He's like, does Elena ever sing pop with you?
Yeah, that's actually how we met.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we so at the time she was working for a company in the city as an EA executive assistant, and the company wanted to put together a corporate band, but they actually wanted to kind of take it more seriously, or they wanted to occur that they were really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So they gathered some people in the office who like had whatever musical experience. Like I think she's told me many times where somebody came up and was like, "You're in the band." She was like, "Wait, I sing opera. You guys want to do rock and pop stuff?" And they're like, "Yeah, that you're a singer. You should be fine." So that's how she got into that.
That's awesome.
And the company that I worked for, they hired out some ringers. So me and like a drummer, guitarist, and then a backup vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we met. She was in that band. I was one of the hired backup vocalists.
Cute.
And we met in the city on a rooftop.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Which, yeah, and we were both heavily in other situations at the time. So, and yeah, the rest is history, or her story, as I like to say.
History.
But yeah, man.
When have you been, so like I've been singing since I could sing, like TV show theme songs and whatever. How was it for you?
Man, my mother grew up singing in church. You know, and like so, and she had 5 sisters and they all sang.
Wow.
So, or 4 sisters. She out of 5, she was one of 5. Well, one of 10, and 5 of them were women. The other 5 were men. And yeah, they grew up singing in church. They were known as the Boykin sisters. Apparently, like people used to look forward to them every Sunday, going to church. So there was always music in one way or another in my house. Whether it was her running around singing, playing like Anita Baker or Fleetwood Mac or something like that, And so I knew all of those songs forever and ever. I always used to sing that. She used to play musicals too. We used to sit down and watch like Oliver Twist and Bye Bye Birdie and things like that.
About a birdie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You Conrad.
I've seen that movie more times than I ever want to see it again.
I bet. Yeah.
And those songs, and yeah. So I was really popular in the hood, is what I was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were like, "Oh snap, you know that every word to Oliver Twist." They didn't say that. They didn't say that at all. Nobody said that.
Were you working on a musical last time I saw you?
I was. That was a situation that ended in a very unfortunate way.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to do that again?
I think I might. I gotta, if I find the right like partners and people that I'm willing to collaborate with, and I think I would, because I think I think I got something there.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So I'm looking forward to giving it a shot at some point.
Yeah, and of course now there's no theater anyway, so you got some time.
Yeah, I was gonna say now's probably the time to get started.
Yeah, right. I mean, it really is all about the partners.
That's real. It's a double-edged sword, or at least the way I'm relating to it is a double-edged sword, because it could make you the best artist you've ever been and the exact opposite at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a little frightening.
Yeah. It's like love.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I do think Mark and I are working on a book about partnership, and that will be out in 2021.
Oh hell yeah.
God willing. We're actually on the last chapter right now, so we're
nice, dude.
Yeah. So it's going well, but it's about our he was my program leader and now he's my best friend, and we're both senior leaders, so we're like, it's about dismantling hierarchy and power dynamics, and like the boss learning how to come down to the level of the other, and like the person who's like the underdog in it,
right,
relating to themselves as a leader and being able to partner. But I told, and we've veered into love partnership as a topic a few times, and I'm like, once we started the process of writing the book, I was like, Mark, we can't even get into that, because that's its own book.
Absolutely. Right. That can't be a chapter. No way.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't going to be like, oh, drop it into this chapter. I'm like, I just feel like we'll be like just touching the surface of it. And I mention my marriage in the book a lot, or I mention, this shows up in dating, or we'll like casually mention it, but I'm like, I'm not diving.
Right.
Will not do it justice. So it can be its own book, and at some point creative partnership too. And I got to figure it out a little more first.
Yeah, that could probably be its own book as well.
Yeah,
right?
it still flummoxes me. I'm still like, how do you do this? How do you make it work? How do you like combine people? I actually now have a bunch of different theories about it, so I think we will be able to write on it. But ultimately, it seems like it's just magic.
Kind of, right? Like there's like a kismetness about it.
Yeah.
I relate to it that way as well. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to be like, I guess it's the same way with anything, but you got to be willing in a very specific way. You have to be willing and open. I guess a better way to put it is like, there's a certain level of partnership you need to enter in with from the bat. And if you're not there, in my opinion, it's nearly impossible to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. And I think
I'm
like
a lone wolf. So.
Was that?
I'm a lone wolf, so I could be wrong as well.
I mean, like I am a lot of the time. I'm finding where I need other people and where I'm better with other people. And then there's some places where other people harsh my vibe, and I just need to not let them in.
Yeah.
Because like I need to do the thing all by myself, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's finding a mixture.
Right. Do a very
on everything. What's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I don't personally do a very good job of listening to myself when that happens.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the part I love about myself, and also it's like, man, you don't have to give so much. Like you can save a little bit for yourself. Is like when I know what feels good or right to me, I'm actively making concessions.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I get to the point where it's like, all right, like I gotta start, giving myself a little bit more in that regard.
Yeah. And just saying, no, that's not going to work.
Right. Right.
Hey, we got to do it like this.
Mm. Well, now I'm becoming super present too, like how I do partnership, and it might be a little bit like I don't, not so much an either or context, but I'm very much like a yes person in that regard. Like, is that what you want? Okay, yeah. Will that make you happy? For sure, absolutely. Then the product will be great, and you will be happy with it. Not
Right.
me, but you will, and that's what's most important. So I'm still figuring out my goddamn self.
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming more apparent to me when I really can't shut my mouth or I can't go along with something because I've had the impact of it too many times now.
Mm,
It's like been in the impact of saying yes when I mean no so
right,
many times that
right.
I'll almost have an allergic reaction in the moment, like where I'm about to say yes. And I'm like, you know what? No, no,
I need to get there. Shit. Yeah, I'm the worst at that. See, I get
I
to
feel
that
like
point,
you
I
need
stifle.
someone who knows that about you.
Mm, it's I have a hard time. Yeah, fighting against that allergic reaction.
Yeah. I get that about you. I think we're similar in that way. And it's to the point where I think I would, if we were working together, I would say something to you like, okay, I'm going to be asking you which one of these four you like the best, but you take an hour or so and then you let me know.
And I'd be like, well, nah, this your project. So
1 hour, I will ask you. It's like that.
goodbye, 1 hour. I'll see you in an hour.
And then you let me know. You think about that.
Yeah. I'm a work in progress like everyone else.
Me too. Me too. Um, so we already talked about what bullshit you're on.
Hmm.
And thank you for that because I think anyone who heard your song, even just the song we played, Dangerous, would be like, oh, that person that wrote that, they got their shit together. I need to get to that. And it's like, sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Like there's a certain level of bullshit you've had to give up to be able to even do that.
yeah.
And to go perform all the places you've performed all over the world, right?
Yeah, man. It's weird because like even when I hear you say that, like on paper, it doesn't make sense. Like I've been on TV several times. I've
Mhm.
toured the world. My band, we put out dozens of videos on a regular basis. So I'm seen more times than I'm all ever going to be comfortable with. And I'm still not there. Like I still have a stage frightness about being seen.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm starting to figure out that like it's easier for me to be seen with other people. Like
Mm.
so when I'm in a band, or if I'm singing cover songs, or if I'm producing or songwriting in conjunction with others, it's like, yeah, like okay, that's cool. But when it comes to me, I'm a hard stop.
Yeah. Well, right now, honestly,
Yeah.
being in that place where you're scared is like a sweet spot because I feel like some people get success early and then stop being vulnerable.
Mm, yep.
They just
I
keep
could.
playing the same song. So like
Yeah.
the industry supports it.
Right. I was gonna say, yeah, that very thing. You have a lot of evidence as to why you don't need to be any of that.
You don't. So you have to have your own reason. Like, here's what I'm up to. Here's what I'm working at. This is why it's good that you have the coach training too, because it's
Mm,
like, what am I actually, what's my goal
right.
inside myself?
Mm,
Nothing to do with the external.
yeah, man. Shit. All right. You want, if you want to get into it, I get into it with you. I have this conversation pretty regularly with Elena, but I think and when we share this in common, I've also lost a parent. Um, and it is like I still haven't found or I'm still actively searching for, rather, I guess is a better way to put it, my what for in terms of being seen on my own.
Mhm.
When my mother was alive, it was a lot easier to kind of push through because she was, parents for the most part are your biggest cheerleaders for
Yeah.
a really long time in your life. And she was the biggest cheerleader. She would always say, like, all the things that you're doing and are singing and traveling, I've always wanted to do, and I've never had the courage to do it. So I'm so proud of you. Um, yeah, and since she passed, she passed 5 years ago, and even now I'm still like, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
Like it was so yeah, it was just easy. She was proud, she was a cheerleader, it made her happy. And that's still more the yes person in me, still, but also it was my mother. So like finding that what for and being seen, there was a really long time where I was very much like, I don't know why any of this is happening. Like, it doesn't matter now.
Mhm.
So
I really get that.
yeah, yeah, that what for is I'm extracting it day by day.
It might sneak up on you. Mine did.
Mm, mm,
Snuck up on me.
yeah.
Almost like it arrived and then I was like, I didn't ask for this. Fuck. And it's all to do with my mom.
mm, mm.
Actually, the 9-year anniversary of her passing was 2 days ago.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had
How are you?
I'm actually really good. I've been doing a lot of work in therapy in the last year, specifically around, and that song that I wrote was part of it, around
Mm,
like how little she um, complimented me or like she had cheered me on. I have a tattoo that says "You go, girl" because it's what she used to say whenever I did something cool.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's really
it's her
beautiful.
handwriting. Also,
That's sick, man. That's really
right?
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
my first tattoo.
Shit.
Um, so that's rad. And at the same time, she was very critical and she really kind of related to me as this like extension of her. So whenever I told her I was going to do something really cool, she'd be like, "How?"
Mm,
Like that's how she talks to herself,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And this is going real deep, but
Love it.
Thursday night I texted one of my program coaches in the DC accomplishment coaching program
Mm-hmm.
who has a really strong just connection to spirit and has sent me messages before and been like, I feel like your mom is saying this to me for you. And so I texted her the night before. I was like, hey, tomorrow's the 9-year anniversary. If you get anything from me, let me know. This was wild.
Mm,
I woke up Friday morning with no alarm at 7:34. Or at least that was when I looked. I had been laying there for a second and then I looked at the clock and I see 7:34 and then I look at my phone and there's a text that came in at 7:34 from her.
get the fuck out.
And it is a picture of her notebook where she had channeled a whole letter to me from my mom.
Yo. That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
And if I paraphrase it, my mom was like, I'm just now starting to realize how much of an impact my behavior had, not just on you, but on everyone. And
Mm,
I just didn't realize that I could cause harm or joy because I didn't realize that I mattered that much.
God. Mm, mm. That is mm. That's really powerful.
It was also wild because I had been thinking about that in the days before. I'd just been thinking, wow, people who don't get their impact, it's not that they're assholes, like
Mm.
going around being mean to people. It's that they don't actually think that their words are of any consequence.
100%.
Right?
100%. Man, that is insane, dude. Mm.
Yeah. So the whole,
Where did that like leave you?
I was like, oh yeah. And I like, that's the thing I've been coming to in therapy more and more is like realizing how her, whatever she said to me actually had nothing to do with me. It was more her trying to work herself out.
Mm-hmm.
And the sentiment in the letter was like, I mean, I said, I was like, okay, I'm ready to like put it down, the whole thing, like you hurt me. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's just put it down. Let's just like, she's like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so proud of what you're doing. Like, you're overcoming all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's growing in the afterlife, like she's learning and growing.
Mm.
I'm like, that's fucking rad.
That's heavy. Shit, man. Whoa. Oh man. You bring onions today? Is that what you did?
Yep.
You bring onions? You need to stop cutting onions during podcasts. It don't work.
Sorry, I heard.
No, I'm just that's really wild, man. Wow. Yeah. One thing that kind of got me through, if I can share, is yeah, I just really adopted on early on, like somewhat, I'd say maybe 2 years after she died, or maybe even a year after she died. I just got into the habit of telling myself, like, man, regardless of how all the shit went down, she was literally doing the best she could.
Yeah.
At any given fucking time. You know, the best she could at the time. And you could apply that to anybody.
Anyone, yeah.
Right? Like at any given moment, the tools that they are using to the best of their ability, regardless of how it looks.
I do think humans are basically good and want to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just a lot of human-y stuff that gets in the way of being able to actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That would to that letter, I imagine it just gave you, that would have given me such a peace.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I call the accomplishment coaching program Spirituality for Dummies because there's like so much in it that gave me access to that. And I did the program in the year after she died. Like I had my first day 2 months after she died. So that was a big year.
Yeah, I fucking bet, man.
I also got married. Like a lot of stuff happened that year. And yeah, it's like I've been to so many different spiritual people and getting all of these, and I was not spiritual at all because I was raised Catholic, and then I threw spirituality out with religion, you know, like many people have. But I got so much of a connection to her, and so now it's like, okay, yeah, you're there. You're like hanging out with me when I write music, and like I literally, I don't know, if you think about it, there's all kinds of people you haven't seen in the last however long, and it's not like you stop having a relationship with them just because you don't see them.
Right.
They're still there.
Yo, you need to start charging for this shit. That's wow. Heavy.
Yeah, so maybe it's in there for you. Something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm getting a lot.
Good.
I'm getting a lot.
Good, because I want your voice in the world. And then like it is, but I'm like really interested in your solo stuff. If you ever want to send me anything that may never see the light of day except in my email inbox, feel free.
I might take you up on that. I'm always looking for just invitations to share.
Yeah.
Reasons to share. I'm you know, as I'm sure maybe you know, or anybody who knows me knows, I'm a bad sharer. I'm a really bad sharer. Like things might pop up and they're like, dude, I saw you on TV, and I was like, oh yeah. Like, and if I think about it now, that's asinine because I'd be pissed as a friend. Yeah, I'd be really pissed as a friend. Or like they hear something and they're like, man, that's you did. I'm like, oh yeah. Kermit the Frog comes out and like, yo, Kermit, we ain't got the copyright or the trademark for that shit. You need to chill. That's money.
Well, my inbox, you know, like there's a few people in my life that if like I have this one friend who's a really amazing writer. I met her in the fan fiction world, but she was writing a novel, and she like wrote me this whole long thing to enroll me in being one of her beta readers for her novel. And I'm like, I didn't even read the whole message before I said yes.
That's sick.
Like, hey, I really love to hear back from you within the next 2 weeks. I got back to her in 2 days. You know, like I'm like, I will drop everything. I'm like,
Right.
I don't do that for a lot of people. And like most people who ask me, I say, hey, I don't have time. And it's true, I don't, because like the only thing I have time for are the people that are highest priority in my life right now.
Right.
So that rules a lot of people out.
Right. Yeah.
And like, it's nothing personal. I just like I have an entire team of program coaches in my DC program that are a top priority to me.
Yeah.
And participants and my clients and my daughter. You know, like there's just I got a list. So if some random person comes along that I don't know and wants me to look at their stuff, sorry, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I got my shit. So
Gotta protect the peace, man.
Yeah, you do.
Yours.
You do.
Fuck yeah.
So Aaron, despite the fact that you're on all kinds of bullshit, because we all are, what advice would you give to someone who is on their bullshit listening to this right now?
Oof. It would probably be the same advice that I give to anyone who like kind of asks anything similar, or like I'll have people come to me, which I kind of love and hate, and say, man, like, you're so lucky. You get to do all this stuff, and you were born with a voice or something like that. But what a lot of people don't realize is the only difference between me or you or anybody who's not where we are is we kept saying yes. Not because we're inherently naturally just better than those people.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who should be with me, next to me, in front of me, who didn't say yes.
Beautiful.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, now you get it. You got it.
I got it. That's perfect. That's really good advice. And so
yeah, man.
People just need to say yes to stuff and try something, risk something.
Yes, right. The minute you say no, you cut off possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. So that's what I would say. Keep saying yes.
Nice. Well, this has been a delight.
Likewise.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks for encouraging my songwriting as well. And you're one of the first people that heard one of my original things and immediately validated and got excited about it. And that's a huge reason why I kept going.
Oh, dude, it's literally my pleasure. I meant what I said.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Likewise.
All right.
Thanks for helping me practice being seen.
Oh, yeah. That's right. This podcast I'm going to put it out sooner. I think maybe first week of January, maybe first thing in the new year.
Uh-oh. Aw, poop.
Aw, poop.
Aw, poop. I got to prep myself. Oh, man. Yeah. No,
All right.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Truly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, dude.
Break up with your bullshit.